Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Radolescence, and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at the newest release by the company Duo Fragrances, or I should say one of the newest releases, and this one is called Fatal Vanilla, so stay tuned. Now, before I start the video, I do want to mention that this bottle was sent to me for review, but all of the opinions expressed in this review are my own, and they are not influenced by the fact that it was sent to me for review. Now, this fragrance is, of course, inspired by the newest release by the company Tom Ford, part of the private blend line called Vanille Fatale. Now, that, of course, is a French name, so here they Americanized it and it's just called Fatal Vanilla. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Duo Fragrances, they make two kinds of fragrances. They have original blends and they also have what are called inspired expressions. Now, the inspired expressions are clones or duplicates of more popular and, for the most part, more expensive and harder to find niche fragrances. So whether they are exclusives to a department store in London, or they can only be bought in Russia, or whatever the case might be, they try to make more affordable versions of these fragrances. And to my experience, the most expensive Duo fragrance has gone for like $60 or $65, and they're always running promotions, and they are extrait de parfum, which means they're going to be a bit stronger than a lot of the eau de parfums that are on the market today. Nonetheless, I do digress. This one is fashioned, of course, out of Vanille Fatale, which is the newest release, and of course it features the note of vanilla. I'm excited to tell you guys what I think of the fragrance, but let's take a look at the presentation. So the presentation for this one is rather simple. Just says Fatal Vanilla on the side there, graphic on the front, has a vanilla pod. The cap does not click into place, and the distribution on the atomizer is nice and wide. Let's go ahead and continue with the smell. Now, the original blend, Vanille Fatale, so the Tom Ford rendition, has a lot of notes in there, and a lot of really unique notes too. So, of course, vanilla is the most concentrated note, not only because it's, quite evident in the name, but also according to user votes online on Fragrantica.com. Sure enough, this is a vanilla bomb, but I would have a hard time comparing it to other vanilla fragrances that I've smelled. Now I'm talking about this, no longer the Tom Ford. Now, it doesn't have the sweetness of like Vanille and Sensei by Atelier Cologne, and it's also not as sickeningly sweet as like Blue Sugar by Aquilina, which has more of like a confectionery sugary vibe, cotton candy almost. This one, on the other hand, has a lot of unique notes in here, like a roasted barley note. It also has saffron, it has coriander, it has myrrh, it has some woods in here as well, and also a leather note. And I think it's the leather note in combination with the saffron that almost give this fragrance like a clay-like feel. Now, when I say clay, I do actually mean Play-Doh. Like, it has like this Play-Doh, almost imagine like a vanilla scented Play-Doh. I know that's a very weird analogy, weird comparison, weird description, but that's sort of what I get from this fragrance. Now, I think that adds to the uniqueness of the scent. And personally, I do like Vanille Fatale by Tom Ford. I don't think I would purchase it though, because although I am a fan of vanilla, I like it on the more spicy side, like Havana Vanille, also known as Vanille Absolument by L'Artisan Parfumeur. That's like one of my favorite vanilla-based scents composed by Bertrand Duchaufour. This one is more on the quirky side. It airs on the side of quirkiness. I think it's a really cool blend, and I also didn't care too much for the original, although I think it is a unique scent, and it smells good. Don't get me wrong, it smells wonderful. This one, on the other hand, if you like Vanille Fatale, they got it pretty darn close. And I know that because my friend Carlos has a decant of Vanille Fatale, and I smelled it at his house, and I even put it on, and I gave myself a generous application of the fragrance, and this one is remarkably close. Same thing, triggers the same memories. It reminds me of the time when I was at his house and I was spraying it on, and we usually spray like 50 to 100 different fragrances, not always on skin, but for me to remember that they smell that similar, I think is a testament to the accuracy that this one bears. So, and not to mention that the color of the juice on the inside is rather dark, and that might be indicative of the lasting power too, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But I did get about 6 hours from this one. It got me through the workday, but by the time I got home, I wasn't really able to smell it anymore. But while I was wearing it, I did get complimented by my coworker Lewis. So Lewis, if you're watching, he is a subscriber of mine. All in all, I think they did a wonderful job recreating this scent. It's pretty darn accurate. It got very, very close. But as it comes to vanilla-based fragrances, you know me, I'm more of the spicier varieties like Vanille Absolument, also known as Havana Vanille. Let's go ahead and conclude this review by taking a closer look at my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, like I said, this is such a unique scent. I mean, it's a clone, so inherently it's not unique because it is a reproduction of a more popular niche fragrance. But in terms of a vanilla-based scent, yes, Vanille Fatale is a unique scent, and this one is also unique by association. It's an incredibly pleasant smell, a little quirky at that. It has this sort of clay, spicy, saffron, coriander, leathery vibe, but it's not aggressive or animalic, and I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but it doesn't have an aggressiveness about it. It's not bold, but it is charismatic. It's quirky. In terms of longevity, I got about 6 hours from this one, 7 hours on a good day. I have been wearing this one for about a week now, and I've thoroughly been enjoying it. And in full disclosure, Massam sent me 3 fragrances recently, and one of them was an original creation, which I actually have here. I'm going to talk about this in a second. And he also sent me a recreation of Taif Oud by Rojo Parfum. I hope I'm getting the name correct. And this was my wife's favorite. She loved this one. And she's like, wear that vanilla one again tomorrow. So I think I might be wearing this one a little bit more often, despite the fact that I like the spicier varieties of vanilla. But this original blend, I feel like I have to talk about it. It's called Scorched Pineapple. And it's such a good fragrance. It actually reminds me of a synthetic aroma molecule known as manzanate, which is very bright, almost kind of has like a juicy, oh god, like a candied feel about it, almost like Jolly Rancher candy, and it has this sparkling pineapple, but it's also containing 2 varieties of tobacco, one of them being Turkish tobacco, and it has a little bit of smokiness, I believe on account of either incense or birch leaf. This is a super, super unique scent, and for an original creation, I'm really happy to see that, because I think a lot of people know duo fragrances for their reproductions, but a lot of times it's also the original fragrances that should get a lot of play too. I know an evening, or The Mobster, excuse me, just the original The Mobster was a great fragrance, and it is a great fragrance. Not to suggest that it's discontinued or anything, but Scorched Pineapple, if you guys have a chance to try that, please make sure you do so. Projection on this one was really good. It jumped up off the skin for about an hour to 2 hours, and then it sat closer to the skin. It became a skin scent at the 5-hour mark. And in terms of versatility, incredibly versatile. Low price point means you can wear it anywhere. The uniqueness in the smell means you can wear it for higher end scenarios. It is extrait de parfum, and it's of a sweeter compositional nature. So I would say save this one for the fall and winter. Probably not in the dead of summer. You might even choke yourself out. Anybody of any age, anybody of any sex or gender can wear this one. Again, all of these are just recommendations. Wear what you like, wear what makes you happy. And in terms of presentation, you know guys, it's a stock bottle. There really isn't much to it. As far as my overall assessment goes, I think this is a wonderful scent, and if you are a fan of Tom Ford's Vanille Fatale, you will be pleasantly surprised by this one. He got it very, very, very close. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of Fatal Vanilla by Duo Fragrances. If you own or have tried either this or the Tom Ford, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and remember to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. This way you never miss any future content. Thanks again for tuning in. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.